Ericsson shows strong performance in 2021. To what do you owe this success, and how would Ericsson continue this path in 2022?
We have the best people. That's really what makes a difference. And with the pandemic that's been raging, global supply constraints, you name it, there have been many issues going on right now. And really there we've had our people stepping up. So that's really, I think, the key explanation. Then we did a couple of changes in 2017. So we increased the commitment to R&D. We decided to lead on technology developing the best and most cost-efficient solutions. Of course, that is contributing to the success in 2021. And I'm convinced those two factors will contribute to the success in 2022 as well. Consumer has digitalized, but now we see governments needing to digitalize. We see enterprises fully digitalizing, but that shows how important the digital infrastructure is to change the way we work, the way we live, the way we kind of function. Technology is becoming horizontalized. So the network, for example, is a horizontal platform that allows any industry to work on that platform. In a world where we horizontalize the world, I think we're going to need to see more partnerships. So we need to think about how you work in an ecosystem. How do we work with our operator customers as partners? How do we work with universities as partners? How do we work with other companies? Could even be competitors as partners. That's going to be increasingly important. So we think the future is going to be much more ecosystem driven. And in the end of last year we announced our intent to acquire Vonage, which is in a way a platform business. It's a horizontal business. What we think is interesting that we can thereby start to orchestrate the 5G APIs and actually expose the 5G APIs to a developer community. That's the way we think the world is shaping up. So that's the way we also think we need to interact with the Vision 2030. Participating at LEAP is actually very important as one initiative to form those new type of partnerships. That's why we have engaged here, and it's one of our major engagements. Right now it's the first, but I think it's the first in a number of events. So we want it to be early, we want it to be significant, because we think that's going to shape an ecosystem here. When we think about the future, connectivity is something that we have a little bit taken for granted. And we talk about cloud technologies, AI, etc. But all of them depend on connectivity. And connectivity that's secure, that's reliable, always available, etc. That's actually what our infrastructure is. That's the purpose of the 5G infrastructure. So we think by focusing on where we can be in the ecosystem, we can actually help each vertical succeed. We want to be technology leaders in, call it, mobile infrastructure. We're going to be that. But then what we need to do, we need to ensure that we allow innovation to happen on top here. Which means that we are interacting with universities. So we have Ericsson Innovation Awards where actually we invite students around the world to innovate on top of connectivity to solve some really big problems. We're seeing engagement with startup companies in innovation hubs like we have here in Riyadh, where you can allow startups, entrepreneurs to innovate on top of the 5G infrastructure. We're launching different type of initiatives like this around the world, where being hackathons are maybe the most visible. But again, trying to leverage the infrastructure to create new applications. Our main focus is on the mobile infrastructure. So we spend little more than $4 billion, 4.5, annually on R&D, primarily or almost entirely geared towards mobile infrastructure. So we're determined to be leaders on performance and on cost, because we think you have to be on both, kind of. So that's where most of our money goes. We're about a quarter of our people are in R&D today, so we're heavily geared that way.